Hi everybody, my name is Mike Golding and I'm going to be showing you in this video how to build this music making desk behind me with just DIY tools for under $500. This desk is over 2.4 meters wide, over 1 meter deep, with 10U rack mount space on this side, 10U rack mount space on the other side. If you were to buy this online, it would cost you over 2,000 US dollars. My question was, do I want to spend $2,000 on a desk, or would I rather spend the money on equipment? So I'm going to show you how to build this for a fraction of that cost, and I'm no carpenter, so you can do this as well. It's not really that complicated. You just need some time and some effort and a few pieces of MDF, some wood, and a couple of kitchen work surfaces. But what you will need are some tools. You're going to need 3 types of saw. You're going to need a circular saw for doing longer straight lines. You're going to need a chop saw for doing straight right angles, and you're going to need a jigsaw for those small little corners. But you can probably hire these for a very small amount of money for a weekend. You can easily do this project in a weekend, and if you don't want to hire them, ask around. Maybe your dad, maybe your uncle, maybe a friend, a keen DIYer would definitely have these tools. And then it's just a case of following this video, cutting the wood, and then putting it all together. I'm going to split this project up into 4 parts so that each video is not too long, and give you as much detail as possible so even your basic amateur DIYer can complete this complex looking desk pretty easily. So the first part is going to look at the overall construction and design of this thing to give you a better idea of how it's going to go together, and the crucial part of cutting and drawing out the side pieces of these left and right wings. Let's jump into it. Let's go back in time to before this was built and show you the whole design concept and how this project's going to be put together. Okay, welcome to the basement. I've set up this table, the beer garden table, just so I can cut some wood on it later on. But let's first look at the design itself. So what I did here with all this stuff is I created a little model. So here's the model. The idea is to do this out of 4 pieces of square MDF. Now this is roughly 1/10 of the scale. So this is a 90 by 90 or 9 centimeters by 9 centimeters piece of cardboard. Now I had these 90 by 90s made or cut at the DIY store because I wanted to make sure that this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, and so on, so that I can make sure that these are 100% correct, and when I do my measurements they're always 100% correct. What we have to do is we have to cut a shape out of it. We cut out these pieces, and we end up with this. If we cut out 2 of these, put them together with some kind of supports, we have a unit. If we make 2 of these units, you can decide how you want to put your work surface on the top. You could quite simply put the 2 together, have leg space in the middle, and put a work surface on the top like that. This work surface is to scale what I can buy off of eBay. This one at 2 meters 40 costs about 90 to 100 euros to buy in solid wood, so I can cut it. Obviously I could get it shorter if I wanted to, but I've got 3 meter space here, so 240 is where I want it to go. So I could have just done this. I can just do that. That is a massive space with 2 units at the side. However, I thought it might be cooler and nicer and more comfortable to sit these 2 at an angle, so that when you're sitting at your desk, you've got an angle off the side here, an angled side there. And it's a little bit nicer to look at, and also maybe nicer to work with. The problem is, what do you do with your work surface? So in order to make the work surface fit, I needed to make another model, and that was to cut the work surface to go like that. Now as you can see, that looks quite cool, but it also might look a little bit scary in terms of cutting it, which is the reason why it's important to get solid wood so we can cut it. Now We'll come to how we cut that at a later stage, but it's not as scary as it seems. The important part of this is if you want to put these at an angle, it's knowing the angle you want to put them at. Now, I've done a lot of messing around with the models, and the angle I've settled on is 70 degrees. Now, getting that precise is going to be key to cutting your work surface at that funky angle and making sure these are set at the right angle. So I bought myself one of these, and this is a digital angle finder so that I can make sure that it's precise all the time. So I can find 70 degrees and I can say, okay, well, I'm going to sit my cabinet or my unit at that angle. Now, the reason why that's important is because when it comes to cutting this work surface, this and this need to be at that exact angle so that they are square on. If you know that angle, if you can accurately measure that angle, it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so that's the general idea of what we're going to build. And I think that we can build this whole thing for around about 400 euros. These cost me for 4 of them, plus various bits of wood, a few of which you can see here, some more here, and some screws. The whole lot cost me 70 euros to get everything done. The work surfaces are about 90 euros, plus you need to pay a delivery charge, so 90 euros. I'm going to get 2 of those, we'll see why later on. So that's 220 euros, plus the 70 I already spent. That's 300 euros for materials all in. Okay, so let's get started. But the first things first. What we have to do first is get rid of all of this stuff from this room. Room clear. Now we can start cutting some wood. But before we cut the first piece of wood, we have to make that template that I was showing you. So we need to make sure that the very first piece is as accurate as it can be, because that's going to be the template for the other 3 pieces of MDF. So it's even more echoey in here, I've just realised, but put up with the echo. The first thing we need to do is to work out what the various distances are. So what I did is I made a paper template first. So this paper template is virtually impossible to see, but the idea is, if you remember the cardboard, we're really trying to get these distances correct, making sure that each one of these is laid out correctly. But what we're trying to do is to transpose these distances, so from the base to the first mark, from the base to the second mark, from the side to that point, mark out all of these points so that we can then cut the first piece of wood and make it a proper template for the others. So I've already done that on a piece of paper to work out roughly how it looked, and I'm going to now transpose all of these onto the piece of wood itself in order to make the first hard template. So this bit at the top is relatively easy. You just have to find this height, which I'm doing at 69. You have to do a little upstand at the back, which is the height of your work surface. In my case, it's 27 millimeters. And then from this point, just go to the diagonal of your, in my case, 90 by 90. This 69 is the height, the top height. So I'm going to make a horizontal line all the way across for that. So one of our next measurements, once we've found the height, I've drawn 2 lines here, but once you've found the height, which is the 69th line, 72 is going to be the extent of where the work surface comes. We know the work surface is going to be 40 deep to come flush with that. So we're going to measure in 40. So this diagonal that I'm drawing here is this diagonal along here. And obviously that's where the hole will be, once we do 2, where the rat mounts will go. If you think that slope's not high enough and you wanted it higher, this is where you would have to have a longer piece of MDF. So now we're going to do the rest of it. So this distance is 6 centimeters, and we don't have to work out these angles, they're going to work themselves out for us. It's 6 centimeters up here, 40 centimeters over here, 14 centimeters up here, 4 centimeters there, I believe, 4 centimeters there, 9 centimeters there. Then we can then join the dots, that one to that one, and that one to that one, that one, that one. We're going to do the final one now, down there. So that's our template marked out. Don't forget, spend some time on this because it's crucial. This one will be a template for all of the others. The main tool really for cutting out the template, most of the lines are straight, so you lay it along the line you do, you put your saw onto the rail, like so, and it slides straight. So this is the main tool we're going to use to cut all of the straight lines. It's perfect, you can probably hire one of these for a very small amount of money. Now, one thing to be careful of as you cut with such a guide is you have to think about what side of the line you're cutting on. Are you cutting on a kept piece, or are you cutting on a throwaway piece? If you're cutting on a throwaway piece, you can cut directly up to the line. If you're cutting on a kept piece, you need to come back away from the line by the thickness of the blade, which is, in my case, about 2 mil. So you need to be aware of that if you don't want to be cutting into your kept piece of wood. So now the long piece where the work surface will go on. So that's the top part cut. These two parts are cut. I just need now to cut down here, and then this piece will be removed. Let's do it. So there we have it. Obviously, we need to sand these edges, sand these corners, make sure they're nice and smooth, but these won't really be seen too much. These are going to be under the desk, so it's not really a big issue. Now I've done one, we're going to use this as a template for the other three. And it should be relatively quick to cut the rest. So I'm going to get on with that right now. Now we have two. What's important is to make sure that you always use the first one as the template. Right, so we now have 4 sides. So that's it for part 1 of this video. I'm going to go away and paint those panels, because in part 2 I'm going to show you how to take those panels and construct them to make the 2 side wings. If you've got any comments, place them below, but please like, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.